One word you mentioned a couple of times that I think is important, I want to point out, is intentionality.
Yep.
You guys are intentional with a lot of your actions, and I think that's amazing right there. Tell us about this next gen program you have, about your mentorship. How did that come about, and what does that entail?
Yeah, so Next Gen, that's our baby. That's my baby. But Next Gen is our mentorship program. And really, this came about, I was thinking about this recently. When we first bought the block, we have reached out to a bunch of people who were talking about getting into real estate and said, hey, we have these properties. We want to split them off and everybody do a few. But nobody was ready. And so no one stepped to their plate. So obviously, we decided to go ahead and do it ourselves. But we were like we have to do something about this. Not only can we not take on the entire city, we can only do so many properties at once, but also we want to be able to create our partners for the future. When we're going after these huge apartment buildings, or we want to do large RFPs, and we want to bring everybody in with us, we need to know that, one, people are ready, that they know what they're doing, and that they're prepared to make it happen right alongside us. And so that actually set a lot of the foundation for what Next Gen is and what it became. And that's to provide the resources, the guidance, and the tools for folks to find success in real estate in Baltimore and to build wealth for themselves and their family. Because we are big on the fact that you can do both. You can do well for yourself and you can do well for the people. And so that's what Next Gen is all about. So it's 12 months of there's a curriculum, there's tons of group coaching, there's tons of resources to the specificity of, I have this inspection coming up in this neighborhood and I'm thinking about X, Y, and Z, and the inspector said this, and we're like, oh, such and such, oh, we know him. Let's make sure that it's going the way it needs to go. So because we're focused on Baltimore, we're able to really, really guide folks and make sure that they're not just joining something, but they're coming in and they're buying property and they're helping us buy back the block collectively, and finding success in Baltimore.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Tell us about that when you guys bought the block. Like, what was that process like, and what was that experience like?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a lot of fun. So we're looking at different properties, and we actually sent out a bunch of letters. And then one of the responses came up, and we're like, okay, so we look out the area, we check it out. And then the appraiser came through, a little while longer in the process. And he's like, look, it's hard to appraise this one. Like, all these across the street, look at them. Like, you got two choices. You either don't do this one or you do them all.
Yeah. And we knew there was tons of stuff happening and coming in that neighborhood. Yep. So we knew what was happening. We knew why there was value in even marketing into this area. And so, yeah, it was like, you do this one, cool, but you need to do all the rest of them. And that's what really set the tone. Yeah. And so we
go harder, get bigger, dream bigger, like just keep on constantly elevating, go for it. Yeah.
And for us too, it became, let's show, everyone can see that we've done this, we have the rentals, we have this portfolio and all that's great. But it's time to turn it up a notch. Like, how do we really show folks what we can do and what they can do as a result?
Oh, that's amazing, man. The one thing I'll say about you guys is, and this is no shot at anybody, but I'm online a lot. And you see a lot of people on social media that haven't really accomplished what you accomplished, but their ego is like just somewhere else. but you guys have the results, you have the receipts, and you guys remain so humble. Like, intentionality, obviously, but how is it that you guys remain so humble? Because I'm telling you, like, I see people that have accomplished a tenth of what you have, and but you guys are very humble, and I think that's impressive.
Yeah, by recognizing that there's so much more. I think for us and for me, like, there's still people who don't know how to buy a primary home, who don't know how to invest in property, who don't know how to build wealth. And as long as there's people still out there in my city, in our city, I feel like there's still more work to do. So staying humble by keeping my head down, keep on working. All right, what's the next step? What's the next dream? What's the next vision? How do I get closer to it? How do I accomplish X, Y, and Z? I mean, that's really it.
Yeah, I think for me, I've actually started to try to get away from the word humble, and I'll tell you why. I looked it up, and it talks a lot about your self-worth. And I was like, like, okay, let's not be so. Lately, you've probably noticed we share a little bit more about what our vacation when we flying out somewhere, what that actually looks like, right? Or if I'm not always in a t-shirt in Timberlands at a construction site, like what does that actually look like? Because I think that there's also a value in seeing that we've kind of earned the right to show the other side. But what I think everyone is feeling is the lack of, we don't have a huge ego, right? And I think the reason for that, at least for me, is that I know the only difference between me and anybody else, or difference between us and anybody else, is that we had the audacity to not believe what they told us, and we didn't quit. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, it just kept going. No matter what was thrown at us, no matter when it came, no matter how it came and presented itself. All right, well, what's the solution? Let's work towards it. Let's get it done. Let's get to the solution.
That's the difference. So that's what people feel when they connect with us, is that we know that you can do it too.
Yeah.
It's just what you're willing to do.
That's why your reputation is stellar.
Yeah. But I think what you said is important too, right? So you said something actually that was very important about, like, showing the other side, right? So, and I guess you are right when you said it's not about necessarily being humble, it's about the ego. You guys don't have the inflated ego that other people have. But it is important to show the other side because representation matters, right? So I often think about just how further along I would have been if I would have had more people that looked like me that were doing some of the things in business or real estate, when I was younger. So it's important to show that so people can see that the folks that look like us are doing these things. So that's a great point. Yeah, it's a great point.
And it took me a while to get there because I felt I felt a way about showing that kind of stuff. I really did. I still work on it.
Yeah, same. And there's still some times when I'm like, no, we gotta like get back to the gritty.
Yeah,
and,
put on some sneakers. Put on some Air Forces.
I need to walk through some vacant properties or something. But no, it is important. Like we
gotta normalize
it. Get shaped up and look nice and go out and have good.
Yeah, but it's difficult too, though, right? Because it's in line between you don't. It's a struggle with me as well. You don't want to come off as bragging, right? So it's
exactly.
So it's a constant struggle. So all right, I understand exactly where you guys are coming from.